Welcome to the Off-Grid Podcast, powered by Retreat Caravans. Join us as we dive into the incredible stories of caravanners who've embraced the open road and the off-grid lifestyle. Welcome to another episode of the Off-Grid Podcast, and I'm your host, Tilly. Today, I've got the pleasure of having a big family with us. So we've got Rob and Tash and the kids, which they'll introduce, but more commonly known on Instagram as Too Easy Touring. How are you, Rob, Tash?
Fantastic. Good. How are you?
Very, very good. Now, I can see you've got a bit of a crew behind you. Would you like to introduce your crew?
What's your name?
How are you, RJ? You good? That's good. And how about you, mate? How are you, Cohen? Are you good?
Are you good, Cohen?
Just give us a nod if you're good.
Say hi,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, we got a smile. That's pretty good.
It is. Hey.
What are you guys up to today? Today's Thursday. Are you officially at school? No, today's Wednesday. That's right. My bad.
Yeah, we're Wednesday. Wednesday. So we've done our schoolwork, haven't we? We've done schoolwork, and now we've been swimming and playing, and now we're just having some chill time and having the pleasure of having a chat to you.
Well, that's good. So, RJ, I just showed you that paying attention is really, really important in school, because clearly I don't even know what day it is. So, my parents weren't very strict with me when it came to school. So all I can say is listen to your parents and listen to your teacher. If they happen to be the same person at the same time, listen to them more. All right, well, we'll let you guys go. Give us a wave, RJ, and then we'll let you get back to your little retreat away from home. Thanks for joining us. Now, they're very well-behaved kids, so well done so far. We'll eventually get the shyness out of Cohen, I reckon. Maybe if you guys attend the Retreat Family Rally later on next year, we'll see if we can get him a little bit more energized. Yeah, but first of all, thank you very much for joining us on the Off-Grid Podcast. Now, you guys are up in Airlie Beach at the moment, is that right?
Yes, we are. Yeah. So we have been on the road for about 4 or 5 weeks now. And we've sort of worked our way up from just under Brisbane. We're from Ipswich. So we've made our way up. Our first spot that we went to was actually Fraser Island. So that was interesting, but it was amazing. So we'll touch on those stories soon. But yeah, we made our way up, and this is the first caravan park that we've popped into on our trip. So yeah.
So normally you're off-gridding, but you've come into the caravan park now probably to get a bit of reception for us to do this off-grid podcast, but just to chillax a little bit, right? Let the boys run around a little bit.
We've done our schoolwork, haven't we? We've done schoolwork, and now we've been swimming and playing, and now we're just having some chill time and having the pleasure of having a chat to you.
Well, that's good. So, RJ, I just showed you that paying attention is really, really important in school, because clearly I don't even know what day it is. So, my parents weren't very strict with me when it came to school. So all I can say is listen to your parents and listen to your teacher. If they happen to be the same person at the same time, listen to them more. All right, well, we'll let you guys go. Give us a wave, RJ, and then we'll let you get back to your little retreat away from home. Thanks for joining us. Now, they're very well-behaved kids, so well done so far. We'll eventually get the shyness out of Cohen, I reckon. Maybe if you guys attend the Retreat Family Rally later on next year, we'll see if we can get him a little bit more energized. Yeah, but first of all, thank you very much for joining us on the Off-Grid Podcast. Now, you guys are up in Airlie Beach at the moment, is that right?
Yes, we are. Yeah. So we have been on the road for about 4 or 5 weeks now. And we've sort of worked our way up from just under Brisbane. We're from Ipswich. So we've made our way up. Our first spot that we went to was actually Fraser Island. So that was interesting, but it was amazing. So we'll touch on those stories soon. But yeah, we made our way up, and this is the first caravan park that we've popped into on our trip. So yeah.
So normally you're off-gridding, but you've come into the caravan park now probably to get a bit of reception for us to do this off-grid podcast, but just to chillax a little bit, right? Let the boys run around a little bit.
Yeah, and catch up on the washing.
Of course. With a family of 4, there'd be a fair bit of washing. Now, it must be warm outside because, Rob, give us a flex, mate. You got the guns out. What's going on here? That's all.
That's all. It is.
It's definitely warmer the further we go.
Very muggy. So we have the aircon cranking.
Yeah. What is it with auto electricians? Because we've had Stu on the Off Grid podcast before, and he's built like a tank. Yourself as well, Rob, mate. You know, you guys are like, you know, sculpted out of the Arnold Schwarzenegger book of, auto electricians.
Oh, stop it.
Seriously, is there something in the multimeter?
Oh, it could be. It could be.
Now, mate, are you a retired auto elec, or you're still an auto elec on the road?
Look, I'd like to say that I'm retired, but I do have a toolbox full of stuff. I had all intentions of picking up a bit of work on the road. Haven't yet.
Yep.
I'm doing my own stuff and helping out the odd person that I see having a muck around in a campground. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely. I still love it, and we'll still do it. So
yeah, it's like an Amex, right? Just don't leave home without it. Your toolbox, that is.
I know, right? I know. I had to do a bit of a cull. I did have a little bit too much stuff in the tool bag, but
what's your favourite tool?
Oh, I don't know.
I bet you've probably got a custom-made set of pliers or something like that.
Oh, I got a few of those special pliers that I've seen people in campgrounds. Actually, when we were at Notch Point, I saw someone with their doors and everything open. I said to Tash, they look like they're working like an auto, like every door, bonnet open. And I walked over there and I saw them trying to crimp some cable lugs with a pair of bullnose pliers. And I'm like, look, just wait.
Stand aside.
Wait here. Yep, stand aside. I'll help you out. So
good on you, mate. Did they cook you something afterwards, or?
Oh, they offered.
Would have been a bit of protein for sure. Well, listen, all admiration for you guys, because as I know it, you've said, bugger it, that's it. We're stopping the normal routine of life. We're going to get on the roads. We're going to be the kids' parents. We're going to be the kids' teachers. We're going to teach them all about the real life as well as in the books. So congratulations for making that decision. But tell me, how did that come about? Like, what led you to get to there?
I think it was probably an idea that I saw. You get into the Facebook groups and you see all these amazing spots, and I think it was more about we should go and check out this spot. We should see this spot. We should see this, and then it kind of just developed from there, because we did have a smaller caravan, and we just family smaller trips and things like that. And then we sort of thought, oh well, bugger it, let's go all in. It's in anything that we decide to do in our lives, we are all or nothing. So we didn't want to just do the one trip a month or anything like that. It was let's just go the whole way. We're all in. And we sold our business, and Rob was probably happy for a bit of a change. We loved our business, absolutely loved the area, loved our staff, our customers, everything, but I think it was just sometimes you just need a change. And like I said, let's just go all in and make that the biggest change we possibly can. So
yeah, you've surely done that. Getting away from the 9 to 5 rigmarole. It's really good. Obviously, being an auto electrician, you probably wouldn't have 9 to 5. It would have been early mornings, late nights. And Tash, you did the books and all the accounting and all that sort of stuff. So when he finished work, you started, and vice versa. You didn't really get to appreciate your kids, at that time frame. So it definitely sounds like a really good thing. And so, how long have you guys actually been traveling for, as in before this big trip? Were you doing camping or tenting? What's the story behind you guys?
My family, so my mum and dad have, for as long as I can remember, we've always camped. I have a feeling we had a camper trailer, and then we've had various different caravans over the years. So we've always done a big, holiday at Christmas time. Most of that, for as long as I can remember, was in caravan parks. You get I think a lot of people that get away and vacation in vans, they have their set booking for every 3 or 4 weeks at Christmas, and they go to the same park, the same site, same people.
Exactly right.
And that's it. And I mean, that's great. That's fantastic. And we grew up doing that all the time, and it was amazing. So then I think when I met Rob and stuff, he'd never really caravanned or done that sort of thing. And his comment to me was, you will never see me spending money on a big box. We'll go to hotels, we'll go to this or whatever. Okay, yep, no worries. And then we actually hired a caravan and went on we're like, oh, we'll just try it. Rob, the one thing with him is, even if he is hellbent a no, he will give it a go. So he was happy to come on board. We hired a van for 3 or 4 days and just did a trip with some friends, and we were sold. On the way home from that trip, I was on Facebook finding us a van, which we went and signed on the dotted line and purchased later that week. So yeah, we just jumped in and then
Got your hook, line, and sinker, Rob.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just the lifestyle. It is
Yeah.
just the lifestyle. There is nothing like it, and until you get on board and actually like give it a go,
Yeah.
that's just, there's nothing like it. So
Yeah.
that's how we started, and then we just tried to get away with the business as much as we possibly could. And then yeah, that's where I think our deep love fell for it. We're like, yeah, we need to do this and we need to do more of it.
Nice. So the van that you're in right now, is that your first caravan that you guys have owned before, or have you had other caravans or campers leading up to that?
This is our second caravan. So we did after that 4-day weekend away with friends, we found a van that we really liked. It was a custom order that had fallen through that sort of ticked all.
Oh, that's the one that you signed up through on the way back.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
So we were keen. We loved it. It was just it was a 19.6 size, so it was a bit smaller. And yeah, when we decided that we were going to go whole hog, we needed a bit more storage. We needed some more space internally, etc. And then just doing hours and hours of research, I think that I just about.
Why are you laughing, Rob? Why are you laughing?
Like an obsession.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Had these boxes that had to be ticked. And
There was a very long list of non-negotiables for me. And
such as, tell me, what were they?
Our first van also had the kitchen on the awning side. So for me, after having that and experiencing that, I was like, yep, I don't want anything else. So that had to be awning side kitchen. I really wasn't a fan of the L-shaped lounges, so the ones with the returns. A couple of other manufacturers that we spoke to, they were able to customize it, but it would just mean that the lounge would be like quite a lot smaller. Like I think one measurement was 1200 or something like that. And I'm like, that is not going to work for a family of 4. I've got 2 young kids that are not going to be very little for very long. So I needed a nice long couch area, the island bed, separate toilet shower, separate ensuite, concertina doors, no full door between opposite the bunks. Like a lot of standard layouts have the bunks and then the door, and sort of you've got to actually open that door to get into your ensuite area.
More claustrophobic type thing, right?
Yep. Didn't love that. I then, once I sort of did more research and saw this layout in the retreats, I was like, must have a floor to ceiling pantry. That's amazing. You guys have the open area with all the concertina doors, because no other real layout that I could find had that. It would have to be again customized. So it was a pretty long list
that's
of
good.
things that you couldn't change either. Like they were, they were not something that you could change, like a cupboard color or tap color you can change, potentially, whereas the actual solid layout.
That's right. It's a bit harder. And so the van that you bought, was it brand new, or was it on the lot as a stock unit, or was it secondhand?
It was secondhand. So we are the second owners of the van, but it very much didn't do much work before us at all. So just a couple of small local trips from the previous owners. I think that they had plans to do some travel, but that sort of fell through for them, unfortunately. So they popped it up, and I just was, once I found this layout, we actually did look at like a couple of new, like putting an order through and all of that for a new one, and I think we just about did, didn't we? And then I just was obsessively checking, all the places to check what was up for sale, and saw this one pop up, messaged the guy straight away, and we bought it sight unseen, put the deposit on it, and we then did a mad dash down to Victoria, down to the bottom of Victoria.
Oh, yep.
To pick it up. So
nice. Well, I'm glad it's all worked out for you, because, from what I can see, you've styled it really, really nicely. And from what we see, obviously, on Instagram, you guys use it to its intended purpose. Now, being an auto and electrician, Rob, have you done anything to the caravan from when you've gotten it, or have you left it as is?
No, so quite a few changes. So the good part was the previous owner got a few extras that we did want. Like the inverter, the dust reduction, all that kind of stuff. So basically all I've done is upgrade the batteries. Just to give us a bit more capacity, a little bit more solar as well. A couple other little bits and bobs, like the Bluetooth leveling and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
That was the main thing, was the battery power. So
because that's going to keep you off grid for longer, right?
Yeah, definitely. And
small inverter in too.
Oh yeah, I put a secondary small inverter in just so that we can run Starlink and stuff.
Yep.
Flat out, it just gets put up when we get somewhere.
Yep.
And we just leave it on.
All the
But,
time.
yeah, few little changes like that.
No, that's good because the Whitsunday comes standard with AGM batteries. So did you upgrade them to lithium, or did you already have lithium and you've added more?
No, it's I upgraded it from the AGM. So this one was a little bit of a funny one because we originally had our eyes on a Fraser.
Mhm.
That was the van that we wanted, but this guy spec'd this thing up to everything bar
Lithium.
the lithium.
Yeah.
You know, down to every the suspension, everything.
And can I say, right, I'll interject for a second. So that package, which I believe they called it the FRV or the LRV pack, right, which was added to it, that package was so popular that today's Whitsunday XE is pretty much that exact thing. So all the new Whitsunday XEs you see nowadays is the Whitsunday evolved, but with a more robust suspension, more panels, more battery, grey water tank, all that sort of jazz, right? ESC. But then the Fraser is pretty much the lithium version of it.
Yeah.
And have you noticed the difference between when you had it on AGM and going to lithium? Has it kept you off grid longer?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Barely scratching the surface of the capacity that we've got.
Yeah, that's good.
We quite often use induction to cook, air fryers. We haven't really needed the aircon yet, but I'm yet to see how long I can run that for. But I've gone a little bit overboard with all the electrical stuff, as you can imagine.
I appreciate that.
Fixed the generator before we left. We were concerned about weights and the amount of stuff we had. So Cruiser copped a 240 amp alternator, an extra DC to DC charger. So there's two in that, so that we can actually charge the van from that if we need.
Yeah, that's good.
And charge the batteries up in the Cruiser in no time. So sort of, solar's, got tons of solar, tons of batteries. Yeah.
So what's the current package? How much solar and battery do you have on the van?
So the van's got 600 amp hours at the moment.
Yep. That's 3 panels?
No, sorry, what did I say then?
Sorry, it's 600
amp hours of lithium. Yeah.
Oh, lithium. Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
That was a lithium. I'm running the BM Pro that was in it, and I also run another DC to DC alongside it.
Okay.
So I've got about 800 on the roof. I've still got a little bit more room up there, but then I have 400 in. I've got 2 fold-out solar panels.
Yeah.
I use it had a Anderson plug on the drawbar.
Yeah.
So I've utilized that to use the fold-out panels.
Yeah.
So we've got 1200. Basically, if I fold both of those out, we've got 1200 watts of solar, 2 chargers, and 600 amp hours of lithium in here. So
You've pretty much created yourself a daydream.
Yeah.
With all the power that you've got. Yeah, like you've made a pre-release daydream before the daydream was released. Well done.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Now I get why you said we haven't even scratched the surface of the power that we've got.
I'm really surprised. We're using just with day-to-day usage and not being conservative at all.
Yeah.
I think the lowest we've dropped it to is maybe 70%. But before it's charging again the next day, and
you didn't have 2 panels out then, though,
that's
did you?
cooking. I don't even know.
Yeah,
but
See, that's the thing though. Like for a lot of people, they always think, oh, I've got solar and I've got battery. I can just free camp as long as I like, right? But you guys know full well it's a healthy formula of maximum solar, maximum battery, and usage. Because, like you said, you haven't really tried the aircon. But if you turn the aircon on all day, these conversations we're having might be completely different. So you've got to know what you're bringing in power wise and what you're using as far as contributing to the loss of power.
Definitely. There's no point in having all of that capacity if you can't charge it again the next day. So you've got to have enough to put power back in that you're using. Otherwise, eventually end up at zero. So camping with friends and other people and seeing them running out of power, and we sort of,
I can see the smirk on your face already.
Oh, yeah, I know. It sucks. I think that these little things, like, it might be a little bit overkill, and it's overkill because I can.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that just makes caravanning comfortable and easy and
more enjoyable. exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
You have all of the luxuries that you would expect from, I guess, a house. However, my house can go literally wherever I want it to go.
Right.
So
Home is where you park it, right?
that is exactly it. And I think that our, I guess, mindset and our way of looking at caravanning has changed since we've done it full time, because like I said, we sort of just did the holiday thing, and we're happy to go into the caravan parks for, you know, a week or so, because you're there to holiday, you're there to give the kids all the best things and they do what they want. But everyday life, like don't get me wrong, this is a great caravan park, got so many great facilities, but I'm also so excited to get back to space.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things. And yeah, so our mindset was, yeah, we'll do caravan parks, you know, every couple of weeks, top up, you know, do this, do that. Now, like I said, this is our first one we've been in, and I think we'll try and stay out for a little while again.
Get the washing done, get a big load done, and then on the road again.
That's it.
Now, you mentioned that you've been to Fraser Island, right? Where else have you been to? And, you know, share with us some of your most memorable experiences, whether it's seeing Mother Nature at its finest, or just seeing like the kids really relive your youth, Tash. You know, like you said, you were a caravanner from little.
Yeah. I think that probably the top thing that comes to mind is, of course, Fraser, because when we had mentioned to anybody that we were going there and taking the van, like the look of horror on people, like it's like the color drained out of their faces sometimes when, like, we were saying that yeah we're taking the vans over, and we went in a group, there was 4 families, so 4 vans that went over, and everyone's like, oh god, like, oh, good luck.
Yeah,
good luck. But like, oh, we dragged it all the way up to the end of zone 6, which is through like inland
All
sort of bypass tracks and rocks, and it did not miss a beat. None of the vans had any issues whatsoever.
that's good.
I think it was just, you know, you've got to know what your van's capable of. You've got to know the tides. You've got to know, just be aware of your surroundings. And I mean, hats off to Robin, and I guess most of the men do the driving most of the time. So I think that's a huge thing for them to be able to navigate us through all of those not so perfectly great spots. So that was probably a memorable one, getting there and successfully doing 7 days on Fraser and getting back out and just, having the time of our life while we were there.
I'm amazed at where you can get these things though.
Yeah.
So, you know,
They just follow, don't they?
They just follow, and you know, even those really rough places, like even, you know, when we went to Fraser and some of the places, corrugations and stuff like that, and you think everything's just going to be blown to bits in the van, but it must ride better than the car, because everything's still in its place. You might I might open a cupboard, there won't be something falling over, but nothing has gone anywhere. I'm just, you know, you hit big bumps with the van, you don't feel it in the car. Like this off-road suspension is
amazing.
It's
amazing.
unreal.
It's pretty good. And I mean, I can attest to that, because I'm not sure if you caught our Tough Tested trip that we did. We were on the Tough Tested What's Up Down Under show, and I was actually driving the car that towed the caravan. And for me, you know, like, as in, that was the very first time that I've towed off-road in a way, although it's in a confined testing space. Now, when I'm driving this car, I've gotten airborne. The caravan's gotten airborne, right? And then we're going through all of these wombat holes of the undulation everywhere. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I can't imagine what's going on inside the caravan. And then later on, you see the footage. There's nothing happening in the caravan, just a bit of vibration, which is, you know, is what you can expect. So yeah, it's a freak of nature, but it's good when it all works out for the best, right?
100%. Probably our other, well, actually, coming off of Fraser, one of my best friends before I left gave me a little tiny, like, real plant, like a little pot plant, because I had all plants and stuff at home. I've got a couple of fake ones around, but she gave me one real little one, and I was like, oh, I've got to make sure I look after this and take this all around Australia with me and whatever. I accidentally left it on the bench by itself, nothing else on the bench, but accidentally left it on the bench when we left Fraser. And we did all the things, got out of the inlets, everything, and we got to our next spot, and I was like, this plant has not actually moved.
Wow.
It was, the little pot plant was still sitting right there on the above the cooktop thing. I hadn't even moved them at all. That to me was the perfect testament to how amazing the suspension and everything has to be under this thing. So
a good old pot plant trick, eh?
it was an unnecessary test, but I definitely did it.
There you go. So what's on the list for Too Easy Touring? Like, where are you guys planning to go to?
So we want to see all the things, do all the things, absolutely everywhere. our next sort of track is we will start sort of heading back home towards Brisbane for the Christmas period and spend that with family and friends.
Yep.
And then we're going to head down and do the lower states, I think. So we might even be able to pop in and see you guys and say hi.
Anytime, more than welcome.
That would be awesome. And I think the end goal for next year is to get over to WA to do the
cool.
coastline over there, which I feel is the goal for a lot of traveling families to do that. But we just want to roll with our sort of no plan, no time frame, just do what we want to do. We sort of thought when we come up this time, we'd sort of just go halfway up and then go inland and do some of the inland stuff. Started to get too hot, so we just bypassed that and just kept heading up the coastline. So yeah, we have.
Yeah, well, I actually spoke to Morris and Rhonda last week, and they were doing the same thing. Their next stop was the WA coastline, Esperance, and all those kind of areas. So you're right. Everyone sort of goes to gravitate in the same areas, and why wouldn't you? Like the WA coastline's amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, the Cape, the tip.
They did the Cape, and they were really, really impressed by it. So yeah, we've actually had a few retreats on the Cape as well. So you know that it can go there. Clearly, there's only a certain point that it can go to, but getting there's one thing, right? And I'm sure you've got the rig to handle it without the caravan on the Cape as well.
Yeah.
I'll take the van though. I want the van.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but there's so many beautiful spots that we're coming to find that are not even really, put out there too much along the Queensland coastline heading up. So, I mean, a very popular one that we just spent 7 glorious days on was at Notch Point. That's a very well-known, very off-grid, remote place to camp, but it is just like literal paradise. So,
yeah, it's right by the water there too. Obviously, like you got a water view and everything, right?
Yeah, yep. So there's like sort of 2 sides to the big mountain hill thing. So you've got the inlet side, which is obviously a little bit calmer. There's like a makeshift sand boat ramp type thing. So those that have a boat or a tinny or whatnot, I guess, prefer to be on that side so they can get in and out and do their fishing. Mm-hmm. But we camped on the coastline, the beach side, and it was just magnificent. Yeah, it was probably
open your window up in the morning and then have a look at the view or have your morning coffee, just counting all of the fish in the water.
Yeah, it was unreal. So yeah, we weren't sure how, like initially we were only going to stay for a couple of nights, but we just fell in love. So we actually sort of day tripped it out to empty the loos and pick up some more food, and yeah, we stayed there as long as we could. So
no, that's good. Now, being a full-time family, like we know, you're homeschooling the kids as well. And you mentioned before that you had the Starlink installed. Yeah. Have you noticed that that's really helped you when you're off grid?
100%. Yeah. It makes life a lot more comfortable. Obviously, for even just like trying to share content, which was not even really a thing that I had intended to do. It was more just for our family and friends to keep up to date as to where we were and stuff. But it's sort of like gone well a little bit for us. So it's
the new black, isn't it? Sharing content.
It really is. So, and I mean, it's also a great way to document it for like later on in life. You look
at RJ and Cohen right now, they're 10 and they're 4, or they're, 7 and 4, sorry. And later on when they're 17 and 15, you can go back to the videos and show how shy he was, in the podcast or whatever it might be. Like even when they're out catching fish or whatever it might be, it's those little memories that they'll be able to share with you guys later on in life.
It is. That's exactly it. So, yeah.
Well, listen, if you're traveling through South Australia in September of next year, please try and be at our Retreat Caravan rally. So we're going to have a rally in September of 24 around school holidays time, so I'm sure you guys can get the kids off school holidays. I'll speak to the teacher, so, see if they're allowed. So it's at Tailem Bend in South Australia. So we'd love to have you there and see the boys as well. But if anyone wants to see the content that you're pushing out, where can they get to on social media platforms to see some of your stuff?
Mainly Instagram and Facebook. So I do all of the uploads on Instagram and then it copies over to Facebook. So they just need to search for 2 Easy Touring. So the number 2 Easy_touring, and that will find us nice and easy.
Perfect. And we might share that profile on our post so that, people can click on it and go straight to your post.
Amazing. Thank you.
Guys, in all honesty, thank you very much for showing us your caravan, showing me your family, and good luck with the rest of your travels. They've only begun. So can't wait to catch up with you off the grid and enjoy the rest of what looks like a pretty glorious day in Airlie Beach.
Yes. Yep. I'm sure we'll be heading back to the pool and just chill around the park today. And then we'll go and do some exploring in Airlie tomorrow. So
beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Cast. If you're passionate about off-grid adventures and have a unique story, we'd love to have you on as a guest. Connect with us to share your experiences and inspire others with your off-grid journey. Remember, life is an adventure meant to be lived off the grid. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories, helpful tips, and exciting adventures. This is the Off Grid Podcast, powered by Retreat Caravans.